Hi, folks. I'm Dr. Ken Berry. This is my wife, Neisha, and this is our youngest, Bonnie Blue.
And today is her birthday. So she can cry if she wants to. She's 1 month old today.
Happy birthday, Bonnie Blue. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're so glad to have you. We do this every Monday night at 7 p.m. If you didn't know.
You did make this public this time, right?
I did, I think. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I made it public. Yes, happy birthday, Bonnie Blue. Hey, Carol from Australia. We're so glad to have you guys with us. Look at the count. It dropped in half. That's weird.
It's because you have the ads turned on and it kicks them off when they go
on. Oh, then it comes back. Okay. So for the next hour, we're going to listen to a baby cry. No. For the next hour, we're going to answer as many of your questions as we can about a low-carb diet, a ketogenic diet, ketovore diet, carnivore diet, intermittent fasting, medicine, nutrition, why your doctor says stupid beep, and etc. All the stuff. So we are here with you, and we are ready to roll. How do I get rid of this thing right here?
She may need my undivided attention.
How do we make this go away?
I don't know.
I
can't help you right now.
Hey, thank you, Holly. I don't know how to make that go away. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, Bonnie Blue's our guest host. We may have to kick her out of the studio if she doesn't watch herself. Tina's doing great on her carnivore diet. What diet are you guys all following right now? Low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion diet? Which one's working best for you right now? Tell us in the comments. If you've never commented on one of these videos before, it's super easy. You just click the button and type it in, and then you click the little arrow, and it comes.
Maybe you want to see what's going on.
You want to look around? You want to see everybody? There you go.
Now, Beckett Jr.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much Beckett Jr.
Look how big she is, guys. She's a month old. She looks huge.
Yeah, she's over 10 pounds now. So eating this high-fat carnivore diet, Neisha's just not making any milk at all.
I've made more milk with her than I made with Beckett. I thought I made a lot with Beckett.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you wanted? Okay.
Your milk production is insane.
Yeah, we have a stash. I never had a stash with Beckett.
Yeah. And so every night when Beckett gets his goat milk, I slip a little Neisha milk in there with it. So he's getting that too. Yeah, she's pretty good looking baby, isn't she?
I think she's big.
I mean, I'm a little biased, but I think she's pretty good looking.
Oh, Daddy's boring.
Fine, be that way. So we got some beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, people. Carnivore, keto, ketovore. I love it.
That worked for a minute. I might need to put her in her carrier.
You may need to. Yeah. Nisha's going to sort this baby, and she'll be back. She is adorable, but when she cries, she's slightly less adorable. But not much. All right, guys, I'm here for you. If you know someone whose metabolic health is currently terrible and they need help, please consider sharing this channel with them, this video with them. I've got over 600 videos to help people improve their metabolic health. And that's pretty much the majority of your health. Once you fix all of that, everything else just kind of falls into place. So share this video in a text message, in an email, a direct message. You're welcome to share it on your favorite social media. Let's get 4,000 or 5,000 people in here tonight so we can really help some people and reach the world. Yep, I just got back from Orlando. The Keto Summit in Orlando was amazing, put on by my two good friends, Judy and Erica. They did an amazing job. We had a great crowd down there. I just posted my presentation earlier on this channel. If you want to come back and watch that later, we've got Mitzi and Paola and Marcia and Kevin and two crazy ketos in here. They're our moderators. They have a little blue wrench by their name. That's Facebook or YouTube picked that, not me. I don't know why it has to be a wrench. Michael says, LDL question. My lipid panel came back with an LPA score of 234. I understand that this is bad, but most docs don't really look at this marker. How do you feel about high LPA scores? So LP little a might or might not be a big deal. There hasn't really been enough research done on it yet for us to know the definitive answer. Is it being high? Is that something to really worry about, or is it not? We don't really know yet, but a lot of doctors, it's very sexy right now to talk about LP(a) scores. So a lot of gurus out there will have very detailed opinions, which includes you need to buy this supplement or subscribe to this program. But currently there's not nearly enough research for us to make a determination as to whether you need to worry about that or not, Michael. So if you make sure that your triglycerides are normal, your HDL cholesterol is normal, your A1C is normal, your C-peptide and fasting insulin, if they're all normal, then you're about as metabolically healthy as a human being can be. And you're metabolically healthier than 88% of the United States population. So let that be your goal, and you'll be happy that you did. Build Life says, hey, Doc, I've been carnivore for 8 weeks. I have bad arthritis in my knees and no relief so far. I take NSAIDs on and off. Are they delaying my healing? If you take them occasionally as needed, not every single day, every 6 to 8 hours, then that's how they're intended to be used. And they're probably not going to delay your healing very much. Give it time, keep eating a proper human diet, and I think the benefits will come to you. Cindy, I'm having surgery on a torn tendon in my elbow next week. What should I add to my diet to aid in recovery? I have already made batches of beef bone broth with the marrow included. That is medicinal food given to us as a gift from the Creator above, Cindy. That is exactly what you need. Eat your meat, eat nutrient-dense foods, and get plenty of sleep both before and after the surgery, and let your body recover. I would also try to get out in the sun before and after surgery. I think there are many benefits of direct sunlight to the human body that have not even been discovered yet, because for the last 50 years, doctors have been scaring everyone to death about sun exposure, even though we've been playing in the sun for over 2.5 million years. Dennis. Hey, thank you very much, Dennis. I got Rocks as a new follower. Excellent. Lori, any truth to olive oil and grapefruit juice cleanse for liver, gallbladder, doing Ketovore now? So every cleanse out there that you see on the internet, whether it's free or whether you have to pay for it, is a complete waste of money, even if it's free. There's no such thing as cleansing your gallbladder or your liver or your kidneys with any kind of thing that you put inside your body. The way you cleanse your liver, your gallbladder, your heart, your everything is to fast. That's one of the beautiful powers of intermittent fasting, is it allows this self-cleaning oven that is the human body to go to work and clean up and detox everything and cleanse everything. So if you want to use some olive oil on something or a few drops of grapefruit juice for flavoring, I think that's fine. Otherwise, they're not going to cleanse your liver or your gallbladder. Good question. Gary, is half and half okay with coffee? Well, it's half okay, Gary. Go ahead and use up your half and half, because I know money's tight. And then next time you're going to buy heavy cream or whipping cream or double cream, depending on where you live in the world. And that's what you're going to put in your coffee. You're going to put just a tiny amount. And then also I want all you guys to try putting butter in your coffee and froth it up really good with one of those little $7 frothers. It's delicious. And that's not going to raise your insulin to any meaningful degree whatsoever. John E., thanks for the super chat. John. Regina, hey, I've been recently diagnosed with liver fibrosis. What is the best way to go to reverse it? I also have metabolic syndrome. So 100% you can reverse your metabolic syndrome and any fatty liver component that you have to your liver fibrosis by following the advice on my YouTube videos. I have videos about metabolic syndrome and about fatty liver, both of which you can completely reverse. Now, livers in the human body and most mammals have a almost miraculous ability to regrow and renew and rejuvenate. And so if you're eating a proper human diet and not eating junk or drinking junk and give your liver time, a good percentage of the fibrosis is probably going to heal as well. Okay, but after this live tonight, check out my videos about fatty liver and metabolic syndrome. That advice applies to you directly, Regina. Dan, hey, Dr. Berry, is carnivore diet good for fatty liver? Yeah, it'll reverse it completely, Dan. And what kind of fasting regimen should I do to help improve it. So if you're going to eat a carnivore diet, Dan, then you need to fast for about 16 to 18 hours a day. And then you've got a 6 or an 8 hour feeding window that you can eat all your meat. Wow, Bonnie's really going to throw down tonight.
She just wants me to walk.
Oh, she wants you to walk?
Yeah.
She may have a gas bubble. Gina says, can you drink LaCroix and similar type drinks on carnivore? Also, how do you make bone broth and what can you use it for on carnivore? So what I recommend on carnivore or beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, whichever one you decide to try, is to drink either still water or sparkling water with no flavor whatsoever. Okay? Because for many of us, especially if we're metabolically unwell, or if we are an easy fattener or someone who develops prediabetes very easily, just the tiny amount of flavoring in a LaCroix can raise our insulin. And so I don't know if you're one of those people or not, Gina, but I would just recommend sparkling water, San Pellegrino, Gerald Steiner, Perrier is fine with no flavor added. She's looking at you.
She's wide awake.
She's just looking around. Michael, how much butter till you break your fast? And so today on my Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should check it out. I have slap fights with the calorie in, calorie out people and the plant-based people every day on Twitter. I posted a graph to show how much insulin elevation happens when you eat a particular macronutrient. So with carbohydrates, you have this huge spike, which is bad. With protein, it does elevate it, but it's like this. Fat does elevate it, but it's a tiny, tiny amount. Okay. And so if you're putting just a tiny amount of fat in your coffee or you're eating fat with your meal, that the fat part of that barely raises your insulin at all. Kelly, my ALT is 44. I've been keto since July 1. So a month and change. So Kelly, I don't know what your ALT was before you started keto. It probably was higher than that. I would recommend turning down your carbohydrate intake just a little bit more and get that ALT rechecked in 3 months. I think you'll be very happy with the results. Debbie Davis, thank you very much for the super chat. Vicky Farmer, having been carnivore for 7 months, could watery eyes be a sign of oxalate dumping? Maybe. My eyes have been watering and no antihistamine makes it stop. Just wondering. Most people who have this, they're not getting enough either vitamin A in their diet, not as a supplement, but in their diet, vitamin E in their diet, or omega-3 fatty acids in their diet. Now, if you're eating plenty of meat, we know you're getting all your B vitamins, so it can't be that. Thank you, John, for the super chat. Jeff Fisher, have fatty liver disease per ultrasound in June. Carnivore since 6-1. No carbs or alcohol. Got blood work back today. ALT is 80 and AST is 43, which is the exact same as before carnivore. Why wouldn't it go down? So there could be something else going on, Jeff, with your liver that your doctor just hasn't diagnosed yet. There's quite a few different types of hepatitis. I don't know if your doctor checked the hepatitis panel or not, but that definitely needs to be checked. There are multiple prescription and over-the-counter medications that can raise your liver function numbers. And so if you're taking a prescription drug or any over-the-counter drug regularly, that could be what's causing it as well. Keep eating a proper human diet and look over everything you're putting in your mouth to make sure one of them's not causing those numbers and get it rechecked in 3 months. My Carnivore Kitchen. Hey, Dr. Barry and Neisha, what are your thoughts on sensitivity tests? You mean food sensitivity tests? Is there anything to them? I'll have to give up some carnivore foods. Thanks. Yeah. So please, none of you guys, if you have not wasted money on food sensitivity testing, don't waste your money. They are a complete and utter waste of your money, and they almost uniformly give you bad advice. You cannot check IgG antibodies and then use that to decide if someone's sensitive to a food or not. Basically, what the food sensitivity tests tell you is what foods you've eaten recently. That's what it tells you. They're a complete waste of money. My Carnivore Kitchen, ignore that. Throw it in the garbage. That's where that test belongs, and eat your meat. Brian, carb blockers, yay or nay? Is it helpful if a person eats 10 to 15 carbs per day? So there's actually a product out there called a carb blocker that if you take it, it's supposed to keep you from absorbing the carbs. This would be like an alcohol blocker. So then you could drink lots of beer, take the alcohol blocker, and then you wouldn't absorb the alcohol. My question is then, why are you drinking the damn beer? Why are you eating the carbs, Brian? No, carb blockers are a complete waste of money. I doubt they work. There's no research showing that they actually do what they claim to do. I doubt they work at all. Raymond, this is day 2 of strict carnivore. What do you suggest I do to help my blood pressure? It's been running around 180 over 70. Blood sugar running 109, 137. So this is day 2, Raymond. It's going to take a while for your body to heal. So keep eating your meat and see your doctor about the blood pressure. If it's been running high like that routinely, you may need a low dose of a blood pressure pill temporarily until your diet kicks in. But carnivore is awesome, but it's not magic. It's going to take it a few months to heal the metabolic damage. The Urban Kitchen Garden, on and off Ketovore and then carnivore the past 3 years, but the sugar addiction is so hard to overcome. And the withdrawal headache is unbearable. Also possible undiagnosed ADHD. Any advice? Yeah, so sugar addiction sucks. Sugar addiction is real, and sugar addiction is very hard to break. Harder for some of us than for others. And so for those of you who broke your sugar addiction easily, do not be beating up people like me in Urban Kitchen Garden, because for some of us, it's much harder to break that habit. You just got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. When you fall off the wagon, the very next day, don't beat yourself up. Just get right back on the wagon and keep going like that never happened. And what you'll find, as most of us find, is that the longer you eat this way, the less and less severe the cravings will be, and the less and less often that you fall off the wagon. Gary, is walking the only exercise needed if on a keto carnivore lifestyle, or do you recommend weight training and HIIT exercises? Not trying to bulk up, just get lean. So let me say very clearly, I have videos on this channel about this. Exercise is a terrible way to lose weight. Exercise is not going to help you lose weight, okay? Fixing your diet, that's it. That's 97% of the battle. Exercise helps you strengthen your bones. It helps you build muscle. It helps protect your brain. It helps all your organs get stronger and more resilient. But exercise is not going to help you lose weight. So don't waste money on a gym membership if you're doing it for weight loss. Tad says, I've been doing carnivore the last 2 months. Was 350 pounds, now 320. Glucose is in the 80s, ketone 0.5. Should feel better by now, I think. Doing 18-6 fasting, carbs maybe 10 grams, but almost none. Please help. Tad, you're doing great. You've lost 30 pounds in 2 months. Okay, that's better than 99.9% of the population. Well done. Be proud of yourself. You've been very metabolically ill for a long time, Tad. It's going to take months. Okay, it's going to take you 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. But if you quit, then you just gave up on yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. It'll keep happening. It'll keep getting better. I promise. Elizabeth, I am 5 weeks in on a strict carnivore diet due to allergic reactions to most food. Unfortunately, I'm very constipated. I've even watched your videos about it and am sure I'm really stuck. Help. So increase your intake of magnesium. Magnesium citrate is about the best one for this. When you've taken enough magnesium, you will have diarrhea. So increase the amount of magnesium very slowly. Also increasing your fat macro so that you're eating more fat for many people seems to help this as well. Jasmine, how does carnivore affect your pH levels? It doesn't, Jasmine. Do I need pre and probiotics? No, you don't. I've been doing keto carnivore for about a month now to help clear my skin and digestive issues, lactose and gluten intolerant. Yeah, and so there's a lot of mythology out there on the internet about, oh, if you eat meat, it'll cause you to have acidic blood. This is dumb. Okay, not you, Jasmine, but the person you heard it from. You cannot eat enough meat. You cannot eat enough fruit and honey to affect your blood's pH level. The human body does not work that way. Okay, that stuff's very tightly controlled. It is out of your control. Good question. Hey, thank you very much, Linda Stock. Clay, can I have MCT, ghee, and prebiotic fiber and a shake with super greens, super reds in the morning without breaking fast keto, even if there's a small amount of calories? No, Clay. First of all, stop wasting your money on super greens and super reds. Both those products are a complete and utter waste of money. Okay. Use up the ones you got, so maybe you can get the 1/10 of 1% benefit that you might get from them. Don't waste your money anymore on that. Okay. When you're using pure fats, you barely raise your insulin level. But if you're putting in the super greens and super reds and the prebiotic fiber, you're almost certainly raising your insulin and breaking your physiological fast. Anise, my aunt has breast cancer spread to the bones, undergoing chemo and radiation. Will PhD give her a fighting chance? If it's metastasized that much, Anise, a proper human diet is still going to slow down the progression, but this is dire. Okay, you guys all need to be loving on your aunt and spending as much time with her as you can. If she's amenable to a proper human diet, I would 100% start as close to a 0-carb diet as I could for her. But if she's not amenable to it, it's not worth a fight. Just spend your time with her. Jeff, should I ignore these numbers? LDLP 2720, HDLP 24.6, small LDL 1053. Here's the good part. My A1C was 11.2 and now it's 5.2. You should not ignore that number. I've lost 130 pounds. You should not ignore that number, Jeff. Insulin resistance score, which is a calculated score, is less than 25. Fasting insulin 2.5, fasting glucose 86. Well done, Jeff. You're doing great. There has not been enough research done yet on what the particle sizes and counts mean, whether they're oh my God, bad or not a big deal. But what I would recommend you do is keep eating the diet that got those other numbers so beautiful, and then recheck your particle numbers and sizes in 6 months. There's Neisha back. Did you situate that baby?
We'll see.
Right.
I was saying to her, she's kind of chill right now.
M. Holland, well, with Hashimoto, should I eliminate dairy? So if you're an adult human, you should not drink milk. That goes for every adult human watching. It is not in your best health interest to drink milk. Now, M. Holland, you can probably use butter and ghee, and it's not going to affect your Hashimoto's. But for very many of us, the casein and whey's in dairy will mess with our immune system's ability to act right. Does that make sense? Do nuts affect TSH levels or cause inflammation? For some people, no. For some people, yes.
For most people, yes.
Yeah. Well, especially if you have Hashimoto's, your immune system's already confused. I would not be adding anything in that would confuse it even more.
I have Hashimoto's, but it's in remission right now, so I'm not on any medication. But it took me going full carnivore for 6 months to really get the inflammation under control. And then I could bring stuff back in and see how it affects me. That's how I suggest everyone with an autoimmune disease do it. Eliminate everything and then bring things back in. But for the most part, nuts, especially almonds, and most dairy seems to be not that great. I can have some dairy on occasion, but not like every single day.
Yep, there you go. And yeah, really limit the dairy. That'd be my recommendation.
She's holding my hand.
Oh, Debbie Davis, you gonna take over after Debbie? Can you do it or no? I didn't know if you could.
Let's get it up. Okay.
Okay. Debbie Davis, I am 69 and have been on carnivore for about 4 months. I'm having big problems with diarrhea. I also don't have a gallbladder. Could that be the problem? Yeah, some people who have their gallbladder taken out have diarrhea for the rest of their life. Most don't, but some do. They have diarrhea until the day they die. So all you guys, please try to keep your gallbladder if you can. Everything else is wonderful on a carnivore diet for me. So get some ox bile supplement. Go to Amazon and find the one with the most 5-star reviews and see if that helps you.
Donna Davis, is it safe for a diabetic to fast?
Yes, 100%. If you're a type 2 diabetic, then yes, there's no problem with you fasting. If you're a type 1, you need to find a doctor who understands a low-carb diet and understands intermittent fasting and have that doctor work with you, because when you start fasting, you're going to really need a lot less insulin quite quickly. And if a type 1 diabetic is not... is not prepared for that, then they can have a hypoglycemic episode, which you don't want to have. That's not good. Jeff Fisher, uric acid is high at 9.2. Vitamin D 25 is also high at 139. Are either of these dangerous? No sugar or carbs for 2 months. So however much of the vitamin D supplement you're taking, Jeff, you need to decrease the amount by about 20 or 30%, and then you'll have a beautifully optimized vitamin D level. Your uric acid is high. As you continue to eat a proper human diet, you should notice that it continues to come back to normal. More and more, it looks like uric acid and ferritin levels are actually markers of metabolic syndrome. And as you improve your metabolic syndrome, those numbers are going to improve as well. Donald says, I had a cabbage, which is a coronary artery bypass. So he had bypass surgery with 5 bypasses on May the 6th. Man, I'm glad you made it through that. 2.5 months ago, I don't know what that means right there. I don't know. I'm still trying to convince my wife that carnivore is the way to go opposed to Mediterranean. So, Donald, if you need to eat a Mediterranean diet so that you and your wife don't get divorced, you can do that. Every time I've been to the Mediterranean, I've been to Croatia, I've been to Slovakia, I've been to Italy. They all eat lots of meat and lots of cheese and lots of butter. And yeah, so just tell her you're eating a Mediterranean keto diet. And you can put a few drops of olive oil on your ribeye, and that should convince her, because most people think that's what that means, is you just use lots of olive oil. Okay, this is hard to do. I'm trying to get them all, guys. Iron Man, is it safe to do keto or carnivore diet if I have diverticulosis? 100% Iron Man. I've got a video on this channel about diverticulosis that will help you understand what's going on. You need to avoid fiber, and you need to really cut back on the amount of carbohydrates you eat. Eliminate all sugars and all grains and all vegetable seed oils from your diet, and that is going to give you relief, and so you don't have diverticulitis flare-ups. Taz, yeah, I got Tad already.
Move
okay.
the chair and I'll try to stand up.
Okay. Sorry, Lily. We'll try to do it this way. How's
It's
that?
a beautiful angle.
I love that angle. There you go. Okay. I got Philip. Thank you, Philip, for the super chat. Donald. I did Donald already. Okay.
Iron Man already.
I got Iron Man. Here's DK. DK's been on Zocor for 20 years eating a SAD diet, and had my first calcium score that sadly came back over 400. So here all the heart doctors are like, oh, your coronary artery calcium score is high. You need a statin. DK's been on Zocor for 20 years and eating a SAD diet, and his coronary artery calcium scores over 400. So maybe it's the diet, not the statin, that's keeping CAC scores low for everybody on keto and carnivore. I'm 55 years old, and doc wants to put me on a stronger statin. Should I try keto first? 100% yes. Very low carb keto, all real, whole, natural ingredient foods. Okay, no keto cookies, cakes, and pies. Real, actual food. And speaking of real food, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, White Oak Pastures. They grow regeneratively raised.
They're not sponsoring this.
No, they're not sponsoring this video. We're an affiliate for them. But we've ordered their meat. It's delicious. It's raised in the USA. It's not transported over on a big cargo ship from New Zealand. And I like that. I like that it's local. They have lamb. They have organ meat. They have all kinds of cuts of beef and pork. They have bones you can make bone broth with. There's a link down in the show notes if you want to check them out.
Jeff Fisher, uric acid is high, 9.2, and vitamin D.
We did that one.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
One crafty gal. Well, thank you so much, YouTube. Have you heard of lumen? It hacks metabolism. Thoughts?
Yeah, lumen doesn't hack your metabolism. Lumen just hacks your wallet once a month.
Donald, did you do him?
No, I don't think so.
Had a cabbage.
Yep, did Donald. Sorry. It's like they're in random order or something.
Vernon, thank you. American Girl. Yeah? You did her?
No, I have not done her.
Sue Prather, I was diagnosed with lipedema. Is high-fat carnivore or ketovore best to help with this?
Yes, I just spoke at a lipedema summit, and the lipedema community is quickly adopting a ketovore, carnivore diet. It does not cure the lipedema, but it makes the symptoms, it makes the actual edema itself, in many cases, 70, 80, 90% better.
All right. DK, did you do that? Simvastatin, 20 years? You did that one. This is nice. El May, thank you. Vernon. Okay.
Vernon, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. YouTube. What's wrong with you? There was one I saw it. There it is. Roland? Dr. Barry, can you speak more on oxalate dumping?
Yeah. So oxalates are in plants. You're not going to get oxalates from animals, from meat, from eggs. A lot of people, it seems like they store these oxalates in their fat and other places, and then when they stop eating the oxalates, their body tries to push that poison out of their body. We hear people having rashes and stuff all the time when they first start keto or carnivore. A lot of people tried to call it keto rash back in the day when keto was considered a fad diet, but more than likely that was oxalate dumping when they were getting all the toxins out of their system.
Future Breeze, 9 months on Ketovore, 30 pounds are gone, but my A1C seems stuck at 5.9, but it's down from 8.8. Trying to be patient, keeping my carbs between 10 to 15, mainly from my coffee. Suggestions?
No, I think you're doing everything right. Give your body a few more months. It's coming. You're almost there.
Jeff, oh my goodness, they're really doing the number on us tonight. Jeff Fisher, AG ratio is 3.0, which is a little high. What would cause this if I'm having no sugar or carbs for 2 months?
So albumin globulin ratio, most docs don't even look at that. I know it showed up abnormal in your labs. This is probably of no concern whatsoever. If your doctor wasn't concerned about it, then ignore it. It's not a big deal. Eat your meat.
This is really...
Why is it
YouTube
doing
is
that
being
tonight?
really annoying tonight. Yeah, we did that. Okay. DOS second. I've been on Ketovore 2 months now. Lost about 10 pounds. My blood pressure is still elevated with meds. So 2 months Ketovore.
Yep. Give him more time. Some of us have been metabolically ill for 5 decades. And then we jump on Ketovore and we're like, hey, it's been 10 minutes and I'm not cured. Have patience and eat your meat.
Space Arwen. Thank you for the super sticker. Oh my goodness.
Are we caught?
John says, what about someone who has alpha gal? I've been told not to eat beef.
Yeah, so you can't eat red meat currently, but you can eat everything that flies and everything that swims. And that's how you can do your ketovore, carnivore diet for now. And then about every 3 months, retry red meat. And you'll find that the alpha gal only lasts somewhere between 3 and 18 months. It goes away. It's not permanent.
MK, I've been carnivore for about 3 years. I have had
lichen planus
for about that long. In one area, my butt cheeks, no creams or diet has helped this.
So if your doctor hasn't biopsied that, because lichen planus is one of those things that goes completely away with carnivore. And so I'm now worried that you have something else that has been misdiagnosed as lichen planus. Have your doctor do a punch biopsy or 2 and send that off to the pathology lab so that you can have a confirmation that that's really what you have.
Yami says, I've been carnivore since January and there are pale spots on my face that won't tan with the rest of my skin. And how do I fix that? This
sounds like tinea versicolor. This is caused by a little fungus. Typically, you'll see your doctor and get an antifungal cream and put on that. It usually takes a few months after you've cured the fungus for your skin to replenish the melanocytes that actually produce the melanin. And so they'll be pale until next year so that when you start to tan again, you'll have an even tan again.
MK said the biopsy came back as lichen planus.
Okay, gotcha. So at that point, MK, I'm not sure why that hasn't gotten better. Almost uniformly, people with LP say, man, it went away or it's 95% better. Maybe see a different dermatologist to see if there's a different medication that you haven't tried yet.
Ocularis, I've heard there's dangers to eating pork and chicken due to the linoleic acid content. Could you talk about this?
Yeah, so the linoleic and linoleic acid that we worry about is predominantly in vegetable seed oils and the food that's made with them. The average American has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of their dietary intake of 20 to 1 or 30 to 1. Okay, so on a ketovore, carnivore diet, if you're avoiding all vegetable seed oils and processed foods, your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of intake is going to be about 5 to 1, 4 to 1. That's not a big deal. Now, if you're living on chicken and pork and no other kind of meat, it's probably too much. You need some ruminant animal in your life. But if you're eating red meat from either cows, sheep, goats, camels, venison, if that's a good chunk of your diet, then you don't need to worry about the omega-6s in your diet.
Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie says thank you also. Thank you, Jane. Shannon, carnivore and intermittent fasted, extended fasting ruined my hormones, my hair loss. I've missed cycles. Stopped all fasting, increased fat, and put on 40 pounds in 2 months. Why so much? No end in sight, still not healing. Most women that I work with that say that they did carnivore and intermittent fasting and it ruined their hormones and had hair loss, they did not eat enough. Yeah. And I mean, not nearly enough. And that you have to be very conscious if you're a woman and you do carnivore and intermittent fasting that you are eating enough calorically. Because carnivore is super satiating. You're just eating protein and fat. Super satiating things. Yep. If you're doing intermittent fasting or OMAD and you see these effects and you're a woman, you're not eating enough. Drop the OMAD, drop their intermittent fasting, eat until you're full, eat when you're hungry, and you're still going to see benefits. And then eventually maybe you can bring in intermittent fasting. So you put on 40 pounds in 2 months when you increased fat and stopped fasting.
I think you probably increased some other stuff as well.
You stopped carnivore, obviously. Yeah. So I would do carnivore again, or even ketovore, which I have videos on my channel about what that is, and eat. Eat. Yes.
Do not portion control. I know your mama taught you to do that, but you got to stop that. That's not okay.
I mean, I see this not super commonly, but when I do and I say, well, how much have you been eating? It's like 1 steak. That's not enough.
Right. Oh, what am I drinking? This is Holler Roast coffee. It's roasted right here in Tennessee.
Holler in the holler.
Holler roast in the holler. It's delicious. I got a little butter in there. And if you want to try it out, there's a link down in the show notes.
Sam, what foods can I introduce to my 7-month-old to start and keep her PhD? I'm really afraid of her choking. There are videos on my channel about this. He's almost 3. He'll be 3 in October. Has always been PhD. So you can go back and watch those videos. His first foods were scrambled eggs. We did just the yolks because we liked the nutrient density of the yolks. Liver pate, liver mousse.
Smushed up avocado.
Yep. He chewed on rib bones. Yep. I would chew up his steak for him till it was emulsified in baby food and give it to him. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you think that's gross, but I did it and he loved it. He still to this day, steak is one of his favorite foods. Beckett had teeth at 4-month-old when he was 4 months old, but that's not necessary.
That's right. Any mother who's breastfed will tell you that a baby with no teeth can bite the bleep out of you.
So we did modified baby-led weaning, which just means that we didn't follow the nutritional guidelines, but we did follow the basic mechanics of it. Babies can sit up, put things in their mouth.
Yep.
Then he fed himself, with the exception of me chewing up steak and handed it to him.
Yep.
What else did
we would give him rib bones after we cleaned the meat and just let him gnaw on them. He would gnaw the cartilage and the little remnants of meat that was left. Bacon, he loved bacon. We'd give him tiny little pieces of bacon and sausage.
He really
loves sausage. Yeah, you know who's in here with us right now? Dr. Robert Kiltz.
Hey, Dr. Kiltz, what's up?
Dr. Kiltz is a fertility specialist who recommends for every single one of his female patients trying to get pregnant. What kind of diet does he recommend?
It's baby, so beef, butter, bacon, and ice cream.
Yeah,
but his ice cream is fat based. Yeah, it's really delicious, and that's what I did when I was going through IVF. And it's basically what I did when I got pregnant naturally, too.
Yeah, exactly right. Yes.
Yes, he has a lot of activity over on Facebook and Instagram, so go follow him. I think it's NYC Fertility, right, Dr. Kiltz? Feel free to leave it in the comments.
Yeah, doctor, you can put your link in the comments if you want to.
Thank you, DC. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Arlene. Thank you, Arlene. At 73, easing into carnivore the last 10 days, my brain and energy are already returning. Can I hope it will take care of microbial colitis?
It's going to improve your symptoms substantially. Okay. Just keep eating your meat and give your colon time to heal. You've been abusing it for a long time. And so your colon has to forgive you, and then your colon has to start healing. And that's going to take a minute, but just stick with it and have some patience. And I think a year from now, you're going to feel better than you never dreamed you'd feel that good again. And thank you very much for the super chat.
Shannon says she was eating 4 to 5 pounds of meat a day. And I'm still eating 4 to 5 pounds of meat a day. Not one single carb. I'm 1,000% carnivore.
Yeah, that's more meat than I've ever heard a human female eat.
Yeah. Then your doctor's not running the appropriate lab. Something is definitely going on there.
Something's up. If that's true, you need a full lab panel, like I talk about in my Patreon group.
John, have had problems with hemorrhoid flare-ups since teenage years. 55 now. Taking lots of fiber hasn't helped.
No.
Please help.
No. Fiber is going to make it worse. So go 90 days of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Okay. And you're going to remove all the fiber from your diet and all the roughage and all that stuff that you don't really need. And it's not going to heal your hemorrhoids, but your diet's going to stop inflaming your hemorrhoids. When you do have a bowel movement, it's going to be a much smaller volume of feces. And so you're not having to stretch that hemorrhoid as much. You're also not going to poop as often on a carnivore diet. And so most people with hemorrhoids notice a distinct improvement in their symptoms on a carnivore diet.
If you have had improvement in your hemorrhoids, drop it in the comments. In fact, anything we talk about tonight, if you've seen success, feel free to share your story in the comments.
Absolutely.
Vernon says, I've had ulcerative colitis and no issues for 8 years and currently on Humira. Carnivore for 2 months. I've lost 27 pounds. Will I be able to get off the Humira?
Mm-hmm.
Indefinitely.
Yep. And for somebody like you, Vernon, I'd probably really cut down, if not eliminate, spices. For now, at least, because even for some people with UC, even certain spices will flare it up. Eat the meat, eat the eggs, and drink the water. And I think your UC symptoms are going to be as good as they've been in decades.
You're going to have to read that.
Okay. Jeff says immunoglobulin G QN serum is low at 544, and immuno A QN serum is also low at 68. Should I be worried? Again, been on carnivore for 2 months. So Jeff, you need to see an immunologist. Okay. I'm a family doctor. Those labs are getting a little bit outside my wheelhouse. I don't know your full medical history and your any medications you're on. You need to see an immunologist if your doctor is worried about those numbers.
Ricardo Rivera, recently diagnosed with an 8-millimeter kidney stone and pancreatitis. Wanted your thoughts on carnivore and keto. I need to lose at least 70 to 80 pounds.
Yeah, so keto carnivore is going to help you dissolve any remaining stones, and it's going to help you lose all the weight back to your ideal body weight. Absolutely. You've come to the right place.
Adam, Dr. Berry, what do you think about people who have undergone bariatric surgery and are now adopting a low-carb lifestyle?
I think that's wonderful. I wish that they had adopted a low-carb lifestyle before they had bariatric surgery, because they probably could have fixed the problem without having their guts surgically mutilated.
Bonnie Blue.
Jennifer. Ketovore for years. Morning blood sugar still 110 to 120. I heard apple cider vinegar with 1 ounce of cheese before bed can stabilize blood sugar overnight. Is this true? No, that's not true.
1 ounce.
Yeah, no, that's not true. What was your last A1C, Jennifer? What's your C-peptide and your fasting insulin? What are your triglycerides? Those are the numbers I need so that I'll know what's going on with you. It's very common for people eating a meat-heavy diet, a carnivore diet, ketovore diet, to have blood sugars, especially in the morning of 100, 105, 110, but then they get their A1C checked and it's beautifully normal. So just with a blood sugar, I can't answer that question. Hey, Charles Bronson, started beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and fish today. Can I have coffee and energy seltzer water? So seltzer water, club soda, any of the sparkling waters is fine. I don't know if energy seltzer water, I don't know what that's got in it, Charles.
Probably just caffeine.
If it's just caffeine, then it's fine. Coffee's fine. But if it's got any other foolishness in it, then watch out for it.
Mariana, 60-year-old, week carnivore last April, feeling great, but my triglycerides are 198. HDL 62, LDL 198, and waist to height ratio is 0.52.
Oh, you're almost there, Mariana.
Blood sugar
0.87.
0.87. Doctor suggests statins.
Yeah, you don't need a statin. It sounds like you maybe didn't fast long enough before you got your blood work checked. That's why your triglycerides are still a little high. But all your other numbers tell me that you're doing exactly what you should be doing. Always fast 12 to 14 hours before you have blood drawn. And that way it gives your body time to get the triglycerides out of your system so that you can actually use that number.
Chrissy, my dad is starting keto, but the docs want him on dialysis and high blood pressure meds. What should he do? Keto or carnivore? Will this help him improve? I don't trust these doctors.
Yeah, and so I don't know what his kidney lab values are, but there's no contraindication. If he needs to start dialysis, then he needs to start dialysis. But he can also eat keto or carnivore at the same time. He might need blood pressure medication right now, but if he eats keto or carnivore for long enough, his blood pressure is probably going to come back down to normal. And indeed, many people with chronic kidney disease notice that their chronic kidney disease improves significantly. We've seen people go from stage 4 back to stage 2, from stage 3 to back to stage 1. We've seen some people completely reverse their chronic kidney disease by eating a proper human diet. So keep that in mind. Okay. Rhino. Well, where'd you go, Rhino? Rhino says, I came in late, so if you've already answered this, I apologize, but will bulletproof coffee in the morning with ghee butter and MCT oil ruin my 18-hour fast? No, it's not going to ruin your fast. It will elevate your insulin slightly, but for most people, this is not enough to break the physiological fast that we're trying to get for you. Use the minimum amount of fat that you can in your coffee, okay? You don't be putting a whole stick of butter. You don't have to. A little bit of butter in your coffee is going to turn off your hunger so that you can fast even longer. Teddy, my husband had itchy skin for 2 years, had cut down on eating junk food, but not enough, still itching so bad it would wake him up in the night. Went keto carnivore and it stopped. Spread the word. Thank you, Teddy, for sharing that, and thanks for the super chat. We hear this all the time for skin conditions, whether it's eczema, whether it's psoriasis, whether it's hidradenitis suppurativa. All these things get better when you cut out all the junk and eat a proper human diet. Thank you, Teddy. Mumijo, good evening. I'm 28-year-old type 1 diabetic, been ketovore for 3 weeks, Lantus down to 40 units from 80. So Mumijo has cut his or her insulin usage in half. Humalog down to 10 units a day from 70 units a day. So any other type, if you know a type 1 diabetic, share this video just so they can see Mumijo's comment. Feeling so much better. My average blood sugar is 103. Hope to keep reducing them. You will, Mumijo, and you'll be able to use even less insulin as you keep doing this. Okay. Well done. What a victory for Mumijo. Thank you for the super chat. Eric, been on carnivore for 22 days, not into organ meat. Should I take a liver supplement? Also, I'm experiencing severe hair loss from long COVID. Will carnivore restore my hair? So maybe on the hair loss, some people report that carnivore helps hair regrowth. Some don't. I think that's on a case-by-case basis. I'm not a big fan of the liver, like the desiccated liver supplements. I used to kind of recommend them if you hated liver. But Neisha and I have been around so many carnivores who have just eaten ribeye and ground beef for decades, and they have no vitamin or mineral deficiencies. None.
I've been saying this for a long time.
Yes, and I've had my ear to the rail, and I just don't hear anybody who she's got a gas bubble 100%. I don't hear anybody who's been a carnivore for a long time saying, "Man, when I started taking these liver capsules, my life changed." I don't ever hear that.
That's
right?
not to say the liver is not a superfood.
That's right. Liver's a total superfood, but I really think you got to eat it to get the benefit. The 2 ways that I would recommend, Eric, that you introduce liver into your diet. Well, 3 ways. First is liver pate or liver mousse. It tastes delicious and it can be 0 carb. Or you can use Neisha's chicken nugget recipe that's on her channel. And if you see in the title of this video, see how Neisha is kind of bolded? You can click on that and go straight to her channel. But if you use her chicken nugget recipe for chicken liver, I think you might love that. And then number 3 is cod liver in the can. It's a very mild liver. You can mix it with some mustard, or you can mix it in with something you're making. You can barely taste it, and you're getting a literal superfood vitamin mineral. So try those methods, all you guys. And if any of you guys currently hate liver, try those 3 methods. Braunschweiger is a great way to get liver cheese, liver loaf. Actually, Underwood, they make deviled ham. They actually have liverwurst in little cans, and it's pretty dang tasty. Now, it's got a carb or 2 in it because they're not woke yet. But I'd much prefer you do that once or twice a week to get your liver in than to wind up with a vitamin or mineral deficiency, if that's going to happen. Thank you, Dean, for the super chat. Steph, best book recommendation for a loved one who is considering bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction after an early diagnosis of DCIS. Gosh, I don't know a book recommendation for somebody in that situation, Steph. I don't know if you mean a diet book or if you mean something that's relevant to that specific diagnosis and topic. If it's a diet book, Dr. Eric Weston's got a new book out called In the Carb Confusion, or In Your Carb Confusion. I think that's a great book. Dr. Ben Bickman has a book called Why We Get Sick. I highly recommend that book for people who just want to understand the human metabolism and why the foods we eat can make us sick. Qigong tea time. Went to the ER for ketoacidosis last week after an extreme high-fat, low-protein diet. Naturally, I'm spooked. I've got 100 pounds to lose. How to proceed? It is impossible to eat a high-fat diet and develop ketoacidosis. Human physiology does not work that way. Either you were misdiagnosed or you're just making this up. But since you paid $5 for a super chat, I doubt that. There are certain very rare situations where someone who still makes insulin in their pancreas can have ketoacidosis. I would go to your doctor, Qigong, and have them check your C-peptide and fasting insulin to make sure that you're not a misdiagnosed type 1 diabetic. That'd be my recommendation to you. I just can't figure out the order that YouTube has these comments in. Okay, I did that one. Did that one. Nikki, I've been diagnosed with spondyloarthritis, no metabolic syndrome, but my vitamin D was 26. Do you advise that's not the status quo? I stopped carnivore because of low T. Is high T possible on carnivore or on keto? So I just had a guy in our Patreon group who increased his total testosterone from 400 up to 800 just by going on a carnivore diet. A carnivore diet does not lower your testosterone. This is a myth that this is the latest thing. They're like, oh, it'll take your testosterone. This is total bullshit. This is not true at all. Okay. There's studies on both sides of the aisle right now. Some say that a low carb diet raises testosterone. Some say it lowers it. But I'm telling you guys, I interact with thousands of people each and every day who are eating a carnivore diet. Nobody's testosterone is tanking. The most common answer is my testosterone went up on a carnivore diet. So whether you eat keto or carnivore, Nikki, it's not going to lower your testosterone. I'm not convinced you don't have metabolic syndrome, but you do need to get your vitamin D up, either with the vitamin D rich foods I talk about in my YouTube video, or with getting more sunlight on your exposed skin, or with taking a vitamin D3 supplement. Thank you. Susan, grass-fed, humanely raised, organic is important to me. I totally get it. I understand. What's your opinion on Keto Chow mineral replacement shakes, quality and sourcing, and meal replacement in general? So I think meal replacement in general is a fad that is dying and needs to die even quicker. There is no such thing as a meal replacement. That is an oxymoron. That is a contradiction in terms. You either eat a meal, or you fast, or you drink a highly processed concoction that can never replace the nutrients that you get in a real meal of real human food. I love keto chow, and there is a time and place for keto chow in some situations, but for a daily use, I don't recommend any meal replacement at all, without exception, full stop. Thank you for the super chat. Gary, do women and men that are healthy lose weight at the same rate when on keto carnivore? Women in the audience, did you lose weight at the same rate as your husband? This is one of the many things that a husband's liable to get slapped for, because men just lose fat faster than women. And it's probably because of our high testosterone and our high muscle to body weight ratio. Men just tend to carry more muscle. It makes it much easier to lose weight much faster. So look at the comments. All the women are like, hell no. Yeah, right. Nope. Hubby lost way faster. Yeah, this is common. It doesn't mean the women are not going to lose it. They're just going to lose it slower because of hormones. Sorry. No, women do not eat the cookies when the men are asleep, Joe. Do not say that. That is not true. Women just cannot lose weight as fast as men on average. All right. Ari says her hubby's melted off like butter, and she's still losing hers. Sandy says she lost a third of her body weight in 3 months, but more importantly, she stopped hurting. That's what I like. Alexandra says, can someone explain ketoacidosis? I actually have a video on this channel, Alexandra, about the difference between being in ketosis and having the deathly ill ketoacidosis. They are two completely different things. Eating keto will not give you ketoacidosis. That is impossible. Rhonda lost a 300-pound husband. Now, Rhonda, I love it. I love it. Gary, I bet Gary lost a bet. That's why he asked that question. He's like, no, men and women lose the same rate. And his wife's like, you're crazy. He's like, I'm going to ask Dr. Perry right now. And yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, women don't lose weight on average as fast as men. Thoughts on Barrett's esophagus and taking Prilosec? I want to stop the medicine. So eat a proper human diet for 6 to 12 months, and as you're weaning down slowly off the Prilosec, okay? And then check with your gastroenterologist, have them rescope you so that you can discover that the Barrett's esophagus is gone. Joshua wants to know about mushrooms in the diet. So there's archaeological evidence that humans have been eating mushrooms for thousands and thousands of years. This is true. I like mushrooms, and if they're available, I'll throw 1 or 2 on my plate just because I like the weird little texture. I think if you don't like mushrooms and you never ate a single mushroom, you're not going to be missing out on any nutrition that you couldn't get from meat. But if you like a few mushrooms, just make sure and count the carbs and enjoy your mushrooms. Oh, Rachel lost a 260-pound husband. Now, wait a minute, guys. That's a different kind of weight loss than I was talking about. Like, did you misplace your husband? Or did you, have your husband taken care of? Or did you divorce your husband? Or be more specific when you say you lost a 260-pound husband. I mean, is he like under your shoes in the closet? Angela says, are cod liver supplements okay? So I don't recommend cod liver oil, and this makes some people mad because they believe in it with like a religious fervousness. Eat cod liver. You can buy it in a can, just like sardines or tuna. It's tasty. I like it, and it's a nutrient superfood multivitamin. But I don't recommend all cod liver oil. It has to be by definition some degree rancid and some degree oxidized. If you are going to take cod liver oil, buy it only in a blacked out container, a very dark container, and keep it in the fridge. Keep it in the dark as much as you can. But remember, it probably came over the ocean on a cargo ship that was 120 degrees in the hull, and it probably sat in the warehouse for 3 months and sat on the store shelf for 2 months in the light. So it's too late usually by the time you buy it. Yeah, Joanne says canned cod liver in its own oil is yummy. I've grown to love it. Lisa says, can I eat cod liver if I'm pregnant? Well, Hunter, if you're pregnant, you need to eat cod liver at least once, if not twice a week. 100%. Every pregnant woman listening to this, eat cod liver once or twice a week. I think Dr. Kiltz would agree. Yeah, Julie Johnson says he's asking us to tell where the bodies are hidden. Don't do that. Don't say anything that could be used against you. Ellen puts cod liver in her scrambled eggs. That's an excellent way to eat it. Yep, tastes delicious. You can also do that with pork brains as well. Any of you guys ever had brains and eggs? It's pretty darn tasty. I buy my canned cod liver off Amazon. I think it comes, I buy it in little tins, and it comes like I get by 12 or 20 at a time. I just stack them up in the closet. They've got a shelf life of 2 or 3 years. Oh, Holly Crazy says that Kelly Hogan and Karen Miles taste tested cod liver today, and they loved it. Yeah, it's delish. And I think it's an excellent way to incorporate some seafood into your carnivore, your ketovore, your keto diet without eating things that may be very high in mercury, right? Like skipjack tuna or swordfish or some of the bigger carnivore fish. The cod liver does not have that big buildup of mercury. DC in Jerusalem says, are nonstick surfaces in air fryers safe? And should a person with kidney failure do carnivore if it causes them to have foamy urine? So foamy urine that's not the end all be all as to whether you're spilling protein in your urine. There's a multitude of reasons why you might have bubbles on top of your urine that do not mean you're hurting your kidneys. Now, as far as the nonstick surface, it depends on what it's made out of. You got to find out and do your due diligence as a consumer. You need to find out what that nonstick surface is made of. If it's Teflon, I wouldn't touch it. Okay. So anybody with kidney failure, any degree of chronic kidney disease can absolutely benefit from eating a carnivore diet. Angelic Annihilator, welcome back. Went back on carnivore after taking a break. Now I have a constant need to urinate. Taking enough electrolytes, how to get rid of it. This is going to last for a few days, Angelic Annihilator. You went back on carnivore, your insulin's returning back down to its previously low level, and you're going to have some level of diuresis while that happens. It's not a sign of anything bad. Oh, put the cod liver in the fridge first and it makes it better. I'll try that. I haven't actually tried to refrigerate it. That's a good idea. And actually, if you just abhor the taste of it, you can put it in the freezer and freeze it, and then just eat little chips of it and swallow them whole like a capsule. Yep, Miss Doe is right. Don't eat dates. Dates are full of sugar, okay? Dates and raisins are some of the highest sugar foods per ounce that you can put in your mouth. They have more sugar in them than Lucky Charms cereal. Tara says keto and have lost 14 pounds in 2 months. Well done. Should I consider carnivore if salads and veg make me bloated and uncomfortable? 100%, Tara, you're reacting. Yeah, I'd do 90 days of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and let your gut calm down and relax and stop the bloating and the uncomfortable feeling. And then you can start adding back in one vegetable at a time to see if your belly, and if you bloat and you get that uncomfortable feeling, that means mark that veggie off your list. That's not a veggie that's part of your proper human diet. And before long, you'll have a list of probably 5 or 10 veggies that you can eat a small amount of that won't bother your gut at all. Good question. Hey, Becky Berry. Wise Mechanic says, what are your thoughts on whole milk? My thoughts on whole milk are the following. If you're a baby cow, you should drink as much whole milk as you can get your little cow lips on. If you are a infant human, then and you can tolerate cow's milk, then that's okay. That's fine. Drink whole milk. Never give your infant 2%, 1% or skim milk. That's child abuse. But if you're an adult human, you have no need from milk. You do not need to drink whole milk. It is not a health food for you. Okay. It is full of vitamins and minerals, no doubt, and protein and all kinds of good stuff. But for adult humans, for about 75% of us, we're sensitive to the lactose, which is the sugar in milk. Babies can tolerate it just fine. We lose this ability at about 5, 6, 7 years of age. And for many of us, the dairy protein, the casein in the wheys, are very inflammatory and will cause inflammation either in your joints, in your skin, in your gut. And some people with mental health issues notice that their mental health worsens if they drink liquid milk. I avoid it completely. I never drink milk, and I love milk. So full disclosure, I'm a milk lover. I love to drink milk, but if I drank milk every day, I would be 20 pounds heavier and my joints would be inflamed. This goes for raw milk as well. Raw milk is less bad than supermarket milk that's been homogenized and pasteurized. Raw milk is for baby cows and maybe for baby humans. It is not for adult humans. Honey equals sugar, says Boink. I totally agree. Honey is sugar. If you have any questions about gout, I've got a video on this channel about gout that explains in detail what causes it and also what does not cause gout, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay. Hey, Beckett, you want to come say hi to everybody? He don't want to. Okay, guys, that's it. We're done. We went a little over. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please share this video if you think this information will help your friends and family. I will be back tomorrow Tuesday at 6 p.m. If you're a patron on our private Patreon community, there's a link down in the show notes. If you didn't get enough of me tonight, and maybe Bonnie will behave tomorrow and Neisha can be here. But 6 p.m. every Tuesday, we do another live. And instead of 3,217 people asking questions, we have 100 or 200. And so we're able to answer more questions more thoroughly. Sorry if I missed any super chats. YouTube's really jumping them around. It's really hard to catch, especially just as one guy. I will be back next Monday at 7 p.m., hopefully with a better behaved baby and a present wife. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you guys next time.